Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we uncover the hidden stories behind all those dense corporate filings. This is the 2026 proxy statement from Symbotic Inc. And let me tell you, it is packed with insights that go way beyond just a simple meeting invitation. So imagine this, it is January of 2026 and Symbotic Inc. is gearing up for its annual shareholder meeting. This isn't just about saying hello. It is about outlining the company's direction and keeping everyone in the loop. They're inviting their shareholders to a virtual meeting, which has become pretty standard these days. This document, the proxy statement, is essentially their detailed plan and a request for your vote on key decisions. First things first, they're talking about electing their board of directors. Think of these folks as the captains steering the ship. Symbotic is proposing to re-elect all 9 current directors. This tells us they're likely happy with the current leadership and strategy. It's worth noting that Richard B.C. Owen, who is the chair, president, and chief executive officer is up for re-election. Being the CEO and chair at the same time is something we see quite often in companies. Looking at the backgrounds of these nominees, you see a real mix of expertise. You've got people with deep experience in retail logistics, like Roland Ford, who spent years at Walmart, financial wizards like Charles Kane and Todd Krasno, and technology gurus like Daniela Ross. This diverse set of skills is meant to guide the company through all sorts of business challenges. Now let's dive into some of the numbers. This filing gives us a look at their finances, specifically how much they spent on their independent auditors, Grant Thornton LLP, for the fiscal year ending the 27th of September, 2025. Symbotic paid Grant Thornton approximately $5.1 million. That is a pretty significant amount, showing how much they value that independent financial oversight. And this figure is pretty similar to the previous year, which usually means things are stable on that front. Okay, so what actually happened in the business world for Symbotic in 2025? Well, they're shouting about a big jump in system deployments. That is good news. It means their core business of implementing their technology is growing. They're also highlighting a next generation storage structure and a new battery technology partnership with Nyobolt, which sounds pretty cutting edge. Plus, they acquired Walmart's advanced systems and robotics business. That is a huge move, essentially buying a part of their biggest client. Here is a really interesting point about their executive pay. Richard B.C. Owen, the CEO, is choosing not to take any cash or equity compensation for his work this year. That is a bold move. It signals a strong belief in the company's future, or at least a unique way of leading by example. Most CEOs earn a significant portion of their pay through salary and stock options. So this is definitely a head scratcher in a good way for shareholders. When it comes to other executives, we see some big numbers. Dr. James Kuffner, the new Chief Technology Officer, came on board with a substantial package. His base salary is $800,000, eligible for a bonus, and he received equity awards valued at around $18 million. This is a hefty investment. But given his background in robotics from places like Toyota, Google, and Carnegie Mellon, they clearly see him as crucial for their future innovation. Then there is Isilda Martins, the Chief Financial Officer, who also joined with a significant compensation package. Her base salary is $650,000. She is eligible for a bonus, and her equity awards were valued at $12 million. These large incentives are designed to attract top talent and signal confidence in their financial leadership. Looking at the actual bonuses paid out, it's clear that performance matters. For instance, Walter Odisho, the Chief Manufacturing and Supply Chain Officer, actually received a bit more than his target bonus, 110% to be exact. On the other hand, James Kuffner and Michael Dunn received 90% of their target bonus. This shows that the company is trying to link pay with actual results. These aren't just simple stock awards. A big chunk of their long-term incentives are performance stock units, or SUS. These only vest if the company hits certain financial goals like revenue and free cash flow. For the fiscal year 2025 portion of their awards, the company hit 92% of their revenue target and a solid chunk of their cash flow targets. This means executives have to deliver real business results for their stock awards to pay off. Let's look at the overall compensation for their top executives in 2025. For Izzy Martins, the Chief Financial Officer, her total compensation was over $15 million, mostly in stock awards. James Kuffner, the Chief Technology Officer, also had a massive compensation package, topping $36 million, again largely in stock. Michael Dunn and Walter Odisho also saw significant compensation in the millions. These figures reflect the substantial equity grants given to key hires and ongoing employees, truly tying their fortunes to the company's stock performance. This pay versus performance table is crucial. It shows how executive pay actually lines up with the company's financial achievements. For Symbotic, their CEO Richard Cohen made $0 in compensation for all the years shown. That is quite a statement. For the non-CEO named executive officers, their total compensation can be quite high, especially when you factor in stock awards. In 2025, their average compensation was around $21.6 million. But the company also shows net income, which was negative $91 million in 2025. This is where you have to look closely. While executives are compensated handsomely, the company itself is reporting a loss. They also saw a significant jump in revenue to $2.2 billion. So, the growth is there, but profitability is still a challenge. It is a classic growth versus profit debate. Looking at Symbotic's stock performance compared to the S&P 500 index, they've actually trounced the index in 2025. Their total shareholder return was 532%, while the index was 208%. This is a huge win and probably explains why some of the pay packages are so heavily weighted towards stock. It means early investors and executives who receive stock have seen massive gains. When we look at who owns the company, a few big names stand out. Walmart is a major shareholder, owning over 12% of the Class A shares. This makes sense given their deep commercial relationship. Then there are entities related to SoftBank Group, holding a significant chunk of the Class A stock as well. And of course, there are several trusts related to the Cohen family, including Richard Cohen himself. This concentration of ownership suggests that these major players have a big say in the company's direction. The audit committee, made up of independent directors, has reviewed the financial statements and their auditor, Grant Thornton. They've given the green light, confirming that everything appears to be in order from an accounting perspective. This is a standard but important part of corporate governance, ensuring that the company's financial reporting is sound. So, what is my take on all this? Symbotic is definitely a company in a high growth phase. They're making big bets on technology and expanding aggressively, evidenced by their substantial investments in executive talent and their acquisition of Walmart's robotics business. The massive shareholder returns are a testament to their strategy so far, and the strong relationships with giants like Walmart and SoftBank provide a solid foundation. However, the elephant in the room is profitability. Reporting a net loss while seeing such strong revenue growth is a common story for fast-growing tech companies. The question is, when will that revenue growth translate into a profit? Their substantial executive compensation, while tied to stock performance, might raise eyebrows for some shareholders given the company's current net losses. We need to see if they can maintain this rapid expansion while also becoming a profitable enterprise. The risks are clear. Continued execution risk on their ambitious projects and the ever-present challenge of scaling a complex business model without faltering. For Symbotic, the future looks exciting, filled with innovation and growth potential. But the path ahead will require careful management to navigate the transition from a high growth startup to a consistently profitable industry leader. Alright, that is our deep dive into Symbotic's 2026 Proxy Street 8-ment. What is your opinion on their compensation strategy and their growth versus profit approach? Let me know in the comments below if you found this breakdown helpful. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more corporate financial investigations. And don't forget to join our Discord community, linked in the description, for more real-time discussions and insights. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.